Hey, it's Frank.
Hi, my name is Ben.
Today we're joined by TJ.
Hi.
Welcome to Viewlittle Week 8.
Nobody told me there'd be a dragon!
Let's address the dragon in the room, shall we? The dragon on this occasion is Dominoes. The effect a small action can have.
No, it's the domino effect.
Domino
or it's
effects.
a domino. Yeah.
The dragon in the room is a domino. And that domino today comes in the form of TJ. I guess we should start by explaining in more detail the aforementioned Google Sheets. So I'm a bit of a spreadsheet merchant, and back in 2020, I created a Google Sheet for a group of us to all track movies on. That is when Finn, towards the middle of the year, announced that he was going to make Dolittle the most watched movie of 2020. Because the spreadsheet had things broken down where it would show the most watched movie, which month had the highest views, things like that. And when Finn announced that and started watching Dolittle multiple times, TJ came in, and as a domino, he started challenging Finn to force him to continue watching this movie. By viewing what movie, TJ?
The Emperor's New Groove.
The Emperor's New Groove. Is there a reason that you picked that movie?
I don't know.
It was short. It was
Well,
Around the point whenever I was in the 2000s during the Disney movie watch along.
okay.
yeah, because we were all doing separate things. Because I was watching a movie every single day to keep up on the highest watched leaderboards or most consecutive days. TJ was watching through all the Disney movies.
Theatrical released Disney movies that were available on Disney Plus.
So it became a battle between Dolittle and The Emperor's New Groove to keep the movie on the top of the leaderboard, the most watched movie of the year. Did you have any inkling of an idea at the time that Finn would end up watching the movie as much as he has?
No.
You fool.
Look what you've done. Look what you've started.
Sorry.
Here we are. The dominoes have fallen.
Because what sort of drove me is that you had these leaderboards and then you had it set up for how many times you watch something in a month. So first it was most watched movie of the year, and then 2021 I figured I could knock it all out in one month.
Okay.
So that's why February was consistent every single day.
So you would be the top of the leaderboard, the person who had 28 viewings in 1 month, the high score of the month.
And you had to challenge that. I don't think anyone else would have watched a movie 28 times. I think that's too many times. Because you said your end total was
I had 9.
9. And
Other people
That was in 2020.
Yeah, in 2020, right. And I would have ended up at 8.
They ended up with 12 views each. Is that right?
and
14 each.
14 each.
And there are 2 Dolittle ones because I fell off of recording what I watched in October because I was just watching too many movies. I was too busy.
That was also the month you gave up your streak.
It was the month I gave up my streak because there's 30 more days. I watched the movie every day in October. I think it was November where I finally cracked.
All right, TJ, I think now is the time to jump into our guest activities. First of all, thank you for joining us. What is your favorite character and your favorite scene?
There were scenes.
That's fair. It's kind of muddy.
We actually just put on a black screen today. Me and Frank just did all the lines.
There really wasn't anything that enjoyable.
Yeah. If you had to pick something that stood out to you, what would it be? Good or bad?
Good or bad? I liked the start of the movie. The first 20 minutes was fun, and then the movie got really boring.
Would you say the flip point is whenever it zooms in and you start hearing the animals in English, or was it after that?
After.
After.
I mean, it was fun whenever they're doing that.
The part in the movie for me, I think, where it starts really slowing down is once they get to the Queen's Palace. Once they take on the adventure, I guess. And then it starts becoming speed run.
I think it's really... The speed run happens after the whale scene. As soon as they hit Monteverde, that's when it's as fast as possible. But I feel like the movie loses me after Stubbins gets on the boat. But even all that stuff isn't horrible. It's just kind of not funny. It suffers from all the Dolittle problems. But I think it's a movie up to that point, right? And then it's super cut. Because we watch You were there when we did the Cats Star Wars viewing. And Star Wars was like that, where it's like the first hour and a half, they tried to get all the new stuff they needed in it.
Because they were doing rewrites.
Yeah, and that's how this felt. It's like, except they did like 2 movies in an hour and a half.
Yeah, it almost feels like they were intended to be 2 or 3.
TJ, this is your first return to the movie since you saw it in theaters?
Yes.
So first time in 3 years. If you had the opportunity to put in a new animal creature at any point in the movie, this is a bit of fin fiction. You get to add a critter into the movie, and you get to give him a one-liner because there's so many animals that appear just to drop like a single joke. What animal would you like to see?
One-liner. Well, probably a frog.
Oh, a frog. There are no amphibians.
Yeah, there's not a single amphibian, I don't think.
So that's a good addition. Frog is a good call.
I don't know about the line itself, but they would probably try to eat the dragonfly.
Where would you put him? Would you put him in the Monteverde section, or would you want him?
Probably the end of Monteverde. Kind of explain the disappearance for a bit.
I like it.
It's the line.
It's got to be James is flying to the boat to warn Polly. We make that a little bit more exciting. We make it like a trench run through a marsh.
He dodges
the frog. Blount, trying to, and then the frog's like,
this is a no-fly zone.
The frog's like a big...
That works perfect. You've done it.
You know, and that fits perfectly with all the characters who are making references to modern day type things. Fits perfectly. It's a no-fly zone. You nailed it.
Thank you. I practice this bit every single night. I go home and I'm like, what would work? Because like my plan is in 20 years, they give me the rights to remaster Dolittle like a video game is now. But with, because really the movie is completely animated, right?
I think especially the dragon sequence, the dragon cave sequence, it feels like a PS2 or like GameCube era graphics. Like it has that kind of a video game feel to it, I think.
And plot.
Yeah, and plot. That's a good point.
Yeah, there are like boss sequences. There's a chase sequence with Humphrey. That would be fun to play.
It has a lot of video game feel to it.
Is there a video game?
That's a good question.
They don't really do tie-in video games as much, do they?
Not anymore.
Yeah, I miss that like craze. The only one I really remember is the Golden Compass.
They were mostly bad.
They were all really bad.
There were a couple that stood out. SNES days, but...
You could do sort of like a Crash Bandicoot giraffe run thing. Like your stubbins on the giraffe, and you could do because it does sort of have like linear video game.
It flows. You could pad it out a little more. Monteverde could be more.
Monteverde should be more.
Yeah, I mean, because we watched an extra credit sequence because I fell asleep and needed to make up points. I fell asleep at the same point every single time, and yeah, I think I was out for like 5 minutes this time.
We watched Antonio Banderas' Pirate King, the Blu-ray special feature.
They put in a ton of effort for like makeup and effects for
and
Monteverde.
Set design.
All the pirates look really good in all those close-ups, and they really do look good. And like costume design is good, and it's just not in the movie.
Yeah, you just don't notice it at all. Kind of forgot in the movie that they were pirates.
It's really too bad that the Monteverde sequence is where it's like speed run movie. And everything is so cut up, because I think that's probably the most interesting location that they have, both visually and character-wise and design-wise.
It had to have been more important. Like, we always say that, but it really had to have been, because it's so, like, cut in pieces.
I mean, you think, too, about the main crisis of the movie, I guess, which is that Dolittle is fighting against this depression, right? Which is related to Lily's death, and this is Lily's home that he's going to. So you'd think that they would use that more, like something with interacting with Antonio Banderas, who's playing King Rassouli, Lily's father, and his energy in the special feature felt so good, and it's weird that there's not more pulled from that to help the story.
Like the only thing that scene or set does is just get the map that they don't have.
Right.
That gets stolen.
I was thinking. Okay, so this is a suggestion from Mike. He said that he had a new segment idea, and it's called "Did Dr. Dolittle do a little redo?" So his idea is that you you can redo any point in the movie. And I was thinking in particular with this Monteverde sequence, to make the movie flow a little better, to make it make a little more sense, to make Monteverde more important, to make the relationship between Rassouli and Dolittle more important, you would do something in this moment where Dolittle's sad because the English get the journal, Lily's journal, the map, it's gone. And then Rassouli comes in and he goes, John, there's something I want to show you. And he takes him back to Lily's room, and she has mapped out everything on the walls.
Oh, I thought you were going to say just brutalizes him.
Just kills him up. No, I was thinking that, like...
It's Barry's kids in there. He has to fight more tigers.
Something where they would have, instead of using whales to track the ship, it's like Lily, left behind all these things.
Yeah, and I think there's a montage sequence missing where they fix up the ship.
Yeah.
It's kind of pointless for them to destroy the ship, then immediately get a ship. It didn't do much.
Yeah, why can't they just all be on the separate whale?
They could each be riding on a whale. That would work.
Like riding in a whale?
Yeah. Riding in a whale.
Yeah.
The original Dolittle story, they climb inside of a giant snail. The Voyage of Dr. Dolittle, like the book.
Oh, that's wild.
They are inside of a giant snail. That's a huge spoiler. I'm really sorry.
Wait, how far along
we're going to read the book. I haven't read it yet.
Do you know this?
But I know this lore about this giant snail. It's also in the 1967 Dolittle movie. The giant snail is. So we'll get to the giant snail talk, I guess. But anyway, riding inside of
a giant whale.
And
then you put a shell on it as a reference.
Right.
I think... Let's see. My scene is the ants and like the lot picking scene. I would get rid of that. And to replace it, I think, I would have like the Mission Impossible break-in sequence that they like start with them like scaling the wall, and like there is a section missing where he goes, I'm about to die, and he falls down. And I think we could do more with that.
You want to beef up the break-in.
Yeah, 100%. And get rid of the bad ants and all that. Maybe the ants help him, but they're not Italian and
just a mob.
Yeah, they're not just a Godfather reference. I remember when I was 5 and my mom showed me Godfather because we're an Italian family. It's our heritage.
Hey, talking animals, the Godfather. Those are like...
This is completely unrelated, but I have to point out that I don't like the scorpion narrative of all scorpions are bad boys.
So that's part of what you're hoping to rectify with your redo. With your
I think with this, we'll show that scorpions are good boys.
Name me one good scorpion.
Name you one?
Yeah.
Well, it's not Dylan. He's a bad boy.
Are there any portrayals of scorpions being good?
I read a book like when I was a child where one of the characters was a good scorpion. And I think it was like 2 escaped bugs from a lab and there was a good scorpion, but I don't really recall it at all. And then also dragonflies are kind of bad boys. That's me. I'm going to turn it off.
Speaking of bad boys.
8 episodes in and he still doesn't know to mute his phone.
I can't believe it. We're going to have a checklist at the start.
Yeah, dragonflies are bad boys because they're like apex predators when they're larvae, and they're apex predators when they're like in the bug world. So it's weird for them to be called Boy Scouts when they would probably be much worse than a scorpion.
So James should have been like what?
He should have been voiced by Tom Cruise in like a Top Gun-esque.
That would be perfect.
He stays the Boy Scout.
No, okay. Making James like a Top Gun dragonfly would be
2
hilarious.
dragonflies.
Because then the frog inclusion as well fits so well because they're having to like navigate through this marsh at speed to get to the boat. So it adds like more weight to this moment. It's more dangerous. There's like pirate frogs out in the marsh and they're dodging left and right. And then one of the wingmen gets killed or something.
Yeah.
Like, gets eaten. That would be sweet.
Yeah, it would be.
That's a good redo. I like that. I sort of...
Yeah, you sort of redid it for me. And that's not really my vision. That's not where I would take it.
Yeah,
but.
Sorry.
What about you? What scene would you redo?
Me?
Yeah, did you already do this?
I sort of did it already. I said that I would make instead of
Yeah.
I have a lot of. There's so many things I would redo.
Most of the movie.
Yeah.
Just
TJ, do you have one that sticks out? That's like
the end of the movie, the Eden Tree Island. Like,
yeah,
so little happens.
Okay.
They just teleport to the dragon lair, and then that's it.
You can fix that
Explored it.
scene, but you can't get rid of the enema.
No, that's
what would
fine.
you do?
I mean, you could expand the entire island scene a bit, other than just teleporting
Yeah.
into the lair.
giving them actual things to do that maybe the various characters can grow through on the island and they
Or
work
show off
together.
their development from
Right.
the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Like Yoshi and whatever the ostriches.
Plimpton, they could do something together, work
Yeah.
together on the island. Because it's a magical island with a magical fruit that's hard to get. There should be traps and trials and tribulations that they have to go through, right?
Dead Spaniards everywhere.
Yeah.
It's actually not that hard to get because it's literally just under the water. Like,
Yeah.
it's such
If it
an
weren't
obvious.
for the dragon, it would be the easiest steal in the world.
We've seen this movie a bunch of times, and you can clearly see that place is in the scene like the whole time.
Well, the foxfire
water.
fungus, whenever it lights up, it literally leads the path straight to the waterfall.
Yeah,
It shows you where they're supposed to go. It's like a video game mechanic again. It draws your eye directly to the waterfall where you're supposed to go.
It's pretty obvious like where it's at. They're just all dumb.
So if they didn't stamp the staff into the ground, it'd been real easy puzzle to
The
solve.
dragon would
Yeah.
have just been sleeping the whole time, and they could have just jumped through the waterfall, grabbed the fruit. Yeah.
Dolittle could have given her a surprise amount of time.
I like your idea to expand the island. Here's what I was thinking. Doing sort of a Bug's Life routine where there are no dragons on the island. And Dolittle and the animals get there first because they have the maps from Lily's room where they piece together everything that's in her journal. It's like up on her walls, on her pegboards around the, They get to the island before the British because they use their combined explorer powers. And then when they realize that the fruit is unprotected, they need to scare away these colonizers from getting the fruit first. So they build a fake dragon and they use all of the traits of the different animals that they have to make it convincing. So like Chi-Chi, who's not a prisoner of fear, he's like the mouth and head of the dragon.
Okay,
No?
That would obviously be Yoshi, or not? Yeah, Yoshi, the bear. Why wouldn't the bear who can roar be the?
Or not the gorilla who can scream.
That would be a terrifying dragon that screams like a child.
I don't like that joke at all, the gorilla scream joke. But anyway, I think that giving them something to do instead of a dragon enema would be cool.
Another scene is for the chase scene. I think you could cut out the giraffe and the fox and replace it with Yoshi and Plimpton,
That would make more sense.
because those characters never appeared in again, and Plimpton would be like what he rides on, and Yoshi's there like as the muscle, and that's already their roles.
And doing that, I mean, in the last episode, me and you, Finn, we read through all of the characters.
Yeah.
It took us forever because there's millions of them. Paring that down a little bit and giving more development to the ones that are already there would certainly be helpful to this movie.
The issue, though, is you need to fit Selena Gomez into the movie so people will watch it.
Star-studded cast.
That's true.
Can't just cut everything.
I think you could-
Marion Cotillard.
No, I think you could cut her. I don't think most
What if you make
people
them the
know who that
capuchin
is.
monkeys?
There you go.
That die.
Oh, yeah,
They
that's
do
the art
disappear.
deck.
They suspiciously disappear after the ship gets sunk.
There's a lot of animals who died when the boat explodes because they're not seen from, like all those chipmunks.
The chipmunks are definitely dead.
I feel like we talked about that last time, how
Yeah.
they're the scourge of the high seas. The ships are just infested with chipmunks.
Any other major redos that spring to mind?
The enema could be more graphic. I don't really...
You gotta keep it. Might make it worth it.
I don't understand. Like, we always get back to this, but the mechanism, what does the leak do? He says something about how they have to break up the blockage. So from my understanding, he's just like jabbing it in and out.
So what you
like,
would do is you would go into like, that predator vision thing, that X-ray vision that where you go in and like you show bones breaking and stuff like that. So you would X-ray MRI scan in, and you would show that blockage in the dragon colon being broken up.
to like CSI. Like when they do like those high-speed camera effects on like crime scenes. Do you remember that from like the 2000s?
I don't remember that. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
They would do like high-speed camera moves like around like a murder weapon or something and do like flash photography and like get really close to it to like portray it. And then they'd also do like X-ray scenes and stuff. Like to show like how things were killed in like a doctor style or something. Yeah. None of you watched CSI?
No.
I was thinking more like, is it the Daredevil TV show where they do like the bones breaking and stuff like that with like X-ray vision?
Yeah.
Is that Daredevil?
I thought so. I mean, Mortal Kombat does it.
No, maybe that's more what I'm
you're
thinking. That's more what
Mortal
I'm thinking. Mortal Kombat, dragon colonoscopy.
I think I'd also like to see Dolittle kill some people. The show he has the gumption to protect his pack.
It's a bit dark.
They do set off dynamite and blow up a building.
It's true.
I guess Dolittle doesn't do that.
No, Yoshi topples an entire tower, so it's possible that...
He's kind of a crime lord, Dolittle. He keeps his hands clean at all times.
See, Polly is sort of the crime lord. She's the one who
100%.
manipulates everything around it.
She's a storyteller.
And she is the storyteller, too.
See, I think that's how we set up the whole movie, is... Polly's at a bar telling this to people, and she's an unreliable narrator at the bird bar.
I mean, it's already not a kid's movie. Just lean into it a little more.
No, she's at a cage in like a animal shop.
Oh, and she's talking to someone who comes in to purchase.
Yeah.
Sort of a fun framing device.
And then she kills the kid she's talking to at the end. I guess I just want to see the rated R, like the unrated cut.
You got it.
So what did you think? Like, how was this experience watching it again?
I remember it being much worse than it was. I remember it feeling like 3 hours long.
That's how I felt the first time coming back to it too.
Fast.
Yeah.
Like I remember the Monteverde scene taking forever, but
yeah,
that was the quickest part of the movie. It felt like there.
It really is. It's that sequence is halfway through the movie. And then there's another, like there's the third act, but that all blends together. I have no idea what the length of time is.
Yeah, whenever watching it, there is like a weird time zone that you enter into where the first half of the movie feels like it's taking up the majority of time. That was a silly way to say it, but
feels like a real movie.
Yeah, the first half of the movie feels like, so the movie's not, 95 minutes long. If you were to ask me what is the 65-minute mark, I would say, oh, okay, it's probably right when they arrive at Monteverde. But that's not the case at all.
I think what that means, though, is that we need to shorten the first part then and lengthen
the Monteverde
and the Dragon Island. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're right. That's like the halfway mark. So there's like a solid 20 minutes you could cut.
Yeah. TJ, right off the start, whenever the animated sequence is playing and Polly's giving the narration, Polly's describing all of these fantastic adventures that this crew of animals went on, Dolittle and Lily, and then you said, and this is the story they picked.
Yeah, the backstory sounds a bit more interesting than what we got. Though what we got just got screwed by how it was made.
That's fair.
The movie could have been made better and it could have been interesting. Like Monteverde could have been an actually interesting movie itself, but instead we just got to, what is it, like 20, 30 minutes at most?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know how long it is.
You have to time everything next time.
Yeah, we'll have to pull out a stopwatch and break down the scenes.
But yeah, the intro scenes seemed pretty interesting. Like it could have been a fun movie, like showing the history of Lily and Dolittle, but no.
Well, one thing I've been thinking about now is like the voyage part. They're on the boat for a little bit, but otherwise it mostly takes place at locations, but nothing really happens there. It's just like quick cut, like Monteverde and the Dragon Island. There's no actual exploration, and they just go to point.
It's an exploration movie without exploration.
Yeah,
it's an adventure movie without adventure.
Right.
Yeah.
They just teleport to the next scene.
Why even have them, like, why even show the boat? Why not just like get rid of that part? Like just show it, like get rid of the chase scene.
I think I've come up with a really great comparison. Have you guys ever watched a video game's full cutscenes on YouTube? The compilation of just video game cutscenes?
Yeah.
That's kind of what this feels like. It's like you take out everything around it that builds in interesting ways, and you just watch the cutscenes.
That's a good way to show it.
Yeah, I think that's the best comparison I can make for it.
I would play this video game. I think it would be fun.
Who would be the main character? Who would you play as?
No, you pick your animal. Like, instead of picking a class, you pick your animal.
Would it play the same every time, or would it?
No, it doesn't matter who you are.
Okay.
Essentially, you do the same thing. You just pick a different animal. There's like options.
So you know how like the Lego Star Wars games, the Lego games in general, they have like a rotating cast that you use to complete actions. Would it be sort of like that, where you have to use like the different animals to?
I'm thinking more of like Diablo, where like the classes are linked to the character, but all the characters do the same thing.
Okay.
Right?
So
do you know what I'm talking about?
Skills, but still do the same.
You want to do a little RPG?
Yeah. Where I'm a bear and I make choices.
Polar bear.
A polar bear specifically. And
do you want to
then
share
like
your...
characters will comment on you depending on what you are, right? There are no amphibians in this game, none.
That's too bad.
Or reptiles, only birds.
What about the dragon? Non-playable?
Non-playable, yeah. You can't be a dragon.
You gotta mob that in.
Yeah. You can be a dragonfly. That's as close as you get.
If you had to rate the worst performance in the movie, TJ, who would you pick?
Worst performance?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of hated Stubbins.
Yeah.
To be honest, fair. I forgot he was a character. Like, coming into this, I'm like, oh yeah, there's a main character, kind of.
That's who we're supposed to relate to.
Yeah, I think, it's the audience insert for sure. Robert Downey Jr. is a self-insert. Dolittle himself is a self-insert.
A $20 million self-insert.
What did you think of RDJ?
He was fine. Whatever.
I feel like that's a hot take.
I don't know. I mean, if you can take the accent out,
he wasn't harmful.
Yeah, I think he's kind of the worst, though. I think he is kind of like, the character sucks too. It's not just
he isn't likable, but as far as like performance goes, it's not like it's atrocious. You know what I mean?
But
yeah,
it's like a kids movie.
Stubbins is just like smiling, goofy, buzz, buzz, buzz.
I think that's better.
Is it?
I think so. I'm a Stubbins apologist. I know what I am. I don't think I could. I think Dolittle is the worst character in the movie, in fact. Like,
no.
I disagree.
I can't. No.
Well, no, that's James. James is the worst character.
You could say any of the bugs in the movie, and they're worse than Dolittle.
What about Jeff?
Jeff's
Jeff
good.
is better than Dolittle.
Yeah, Jeff is better than Dolittle. Huh, I'm Jeff, and that's it. That's all you need to do. His accent's fine.
And then we assume,
he's killed off screen. He's fed the Yoshi.
He must be.
Okay, let's see. What do you have written down in your notes, Frank?
The Scratch and Sniff book was something we talked about while watching. Jip knowing all the sense, and I think that it's fair that he would, be flipping through and thinking about memory.
Yeah,
he could come up with this. But
I think it has to be sense. And there's like leaves, or there's like a white
something taped into the book type thing.
Yeah,
so it's possible that
because I don't think he just like because he doesn't recognize what the smell is.
He's not like sniffing the book though. You know what I mean? He's reading it.
Yeah, but Dolittle does.
Does he?
He goes in for a whiff whenever Jib points out the plant.
Oh, he does. Sort of.
Yeah.
Well, I think that they're just trying to hide his mouth as much as possible because they dubbed this entire movie so that as few mouth shots as they can make in the movie.
He dies in that scene from inhaling nightshade. Let's see. I have written down berries. That's a really good line. I really like the tiger scene. I like when he says cheap shot ape. What did you think of the tiger scene?
It was fun. It's one of the more action-y parts of the movie, I guess.
It is an action-y part of the movie.
It was cut up a lot, though.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Between all the other scenes getting inserted in.
Monteverde really is like a random clip show. It's like they came up with a bunch of bits and stitched them together.
Like, how much of that was actually film versus just all of it being CGI? Now I'm thinking about it. Like, Monteverde. Like, how much of it was just made in post where we're like, we need to fill out this movie a bit? Because a lot of it doesn't have humans.
Yeah.
Most of it is animals.
Yeah, that's fair. Or it's just like shots of the set of Stubbins running through it.
We did see the actual set that they built in the special feature.
It's so cool. It's very good.
A lot of wasted time.
Yeah. That has to be heartbreaking.
I want to see the Steven cut really bad.
I wonder what he does in the Monteverde sequence that's different, though. You know what I mean? If in his cut, Stubbins was indeed the son of Dolittle and the grandson of Rassouli, maybe that relationship plays a much bigger part. But
explain why he wasn't just fed to the tiger too.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And you made the comment, how does that trap work whenever Stubbins unlocks the vault by looking into the tiger's eye? And it's like, can anyone just walk up to the tiger eye and look in the eye and it unlocks the vault for them? That seems like strange design.
A little magic.
It's cool. That's a cool sequence.
Is it?
I thought it was.
It's very jumpy.
It's incredibly jumpy.
No, I'm literally just talking about when he looks into the tiger eye. Like the door is cool. Yeah. You're right. The actual him jumping on like the weird cat furniture in his house.
It's like a CW show.
I would watch the CW Dolittle verse where they're all like,
I wouldn't.
15-year-olds played by 28-year-olds.
See, the reason that this is so interesting, I think, part of the reason this is, I'm not going to say fun to watch because it's not, but part of the reason it's interesting to watch is that it's huge budget and bad.
Yeah.
Whereas like a CW show, it's bad because the budget's not good. You know what I mean?
Well, man, the writing's bad.
Yeah, I think it's mostly the writing. Yeah, like I feel like CW shows have a bigger budget than you expect.
Maybe now, some of them, but I imagine when they started, probably not.
Yeah.
I can't,
because you look at like, what's the, like Riverdale?
That's the Archie one, right?
Yeah, it doesn't look bad. Like, I feel like they just don't spend their money on...
Is that recent, though?
Yeah.
Is that still ongoing?
See, recent, I feel like they're actually investing in it. But like, if you go back to like when CW show...
Like Arrow.
Yeah, more like that kind of
Because like even Arrow, like season 3 starts to look a lot better or something.
Well, I think they're pumping more money into it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Whenever they're actually popular by that point.
Because I think what they do, their like whole game plan is to hire mostly unknown cast with like maybe one TV star, and then they don't have to spend money on that. And then they can put the money elsewhere.
The Game of Thrones plan.
Yeah. Or like Star Wars. Let's see. I have Rassouli written down. I don't. Oh, because we watched that thing.
That Antonio Banderas Pirate King segment. I know we're jumping all over the place right now, but that was such a good segment.
It really was.
It didn't show much, though.
It didn't show
was
a
mostly
whole lot.
what we already saw.
Yeah,
that's true.
It was just him saying he had fun.
There was like snippets of him doing things that were cut.
I guess I just like his character so much that it's a shame he's not in the movie more. And watching that special feature made me wish he was in the movie more.
Yeah, I think he might be the best, like, human in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, not even close.
Well, the villain, whatever his name was.
Oh, yeah, Mudfly.
Mudfly.
Do you like Mudfly? What's your take on Mudfly?
He was fun. Like you said, good hair.
Yeah. I have a picture. Oh, there's Plimpton under it.
You drew him sort of like an Oompa Loompa. The vibe I'm getting from this.
Because his haircut's really funny, but I think it would be much better if it was like 10
Super
times
exaggerated.
extreme. Yeah. Like more eccentric.
I guess if the movie leaned more eccentric, maybe it would help it.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Especially with all like the steampunk stuff they tease. I think all of that would help. Using a steampunk gadget to give a dragon an enema. Stubbins has something to do. He's pumping like steam air into.
Or like if you're going to use it, Dolittle is based on this William Price naturalist character, and Mudfly can be like the steampunk villain, who uses gadgetry, and Dolittle's more about animals. Mudfly's more, technology. That's why Mudfly's using this metal warship. Dolittle's sailing around in a ship pulled by whales. Like the contrasting there
is like play it up times 10.
Yeah, it's super amplified.
And they have a confrontation, and Dolittle's just throwing various animals at him.
And Mudfly's fighting with robot mechs.
There's a scene where Dolittle's fighting Mudfly on top of Chi-Chi. He's like on his shoulders, and Mudfly's in a mech, steampunk mech.
That's why Dolittle, you see them training in the ring. This is what they were training for was to Dolittle sits on his head like a Raccacoonie, like a Ratatouille.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Yeah. That'd be a blast. I think that the only way you can save this movie is to take it to an extreme. That's probably not entirely true, but I guess I would enjoy it if it was taken to an extreme.
I mean, it seems you're the intended audience at this point.
Yeah.
I definitely, they hit me with a movie that I don't know why I watch it as much as I have. But...
the Dominoes sitting right here.
Sorry.
The one who started it all.
I wish I
wasted your time.
Picked a better movie like Cats.
Do you?
I don't think you do.
Oh God,
Isn't Cats longer?
It is. I think that's one of the reasons why I picked Dolittle, is I thought it was funny and it's not that long.
And there was already a number of people who had watched it, so it was easier to make it the top movie of the year.
Easy to pad stats.
Yeah.
Cats is much longer. It feels much longer.
It is longer. I think Cats is...
We can do this.
Are you looking it up?
110.
Oh, it's 10 minutes longer.
You said it's 100,
yeah, it's
right?
10 minutes longer. Not that far off, I guess.
But like minus the credit scene and minus the post, like the pictures.
The movie up until the post-credit scene when Blair falls in the hole, you see him again. The movie up to there is 94 minutes.
Yeah, and I think that's another 4 minutes probably, right?
Give or take.
3
well,
minutes?
It's the length of that song. Who sings the song? Lady Gaga?
Sia, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's Sia. So whatever the length of that Sia song is, that would be...
What are your thoughts on the Sia song?
I wasn't paying attention at that point.
Okay. Honestly, it does not... I guess I could bring up the lyrics. Would that be interesting to...
I don't think so. They're not very good.
I mean, it was written for this movie. Like, this song was created for Dolittle.
Did it win anything?
I don't know. Let's find out. What is it? Unstoppable?
Yeah. It's not very...
That's not it, is it?
No, I don't know what it is.
Original,
yeah. It's not a very good song. It's very repetitious. But I was humming it at work.
Okay, here it is. Here's the open. Boom woke me from my sleep. Boom woke me from a dream. Boom got me on my feet. Boom think the birds who sing. I'm here to try anything. I'm done with the suffering. It's time to stand up and sing for my life. I'm here now to try it all. I'm ready to take a fall. Because I'm an original. Why deny it? So I'm assuming, is this supposed to be like...
I'ma be original.
Is this supposed to be like Dolittle's anthem?
Yeah, I guess.
Almost feels like it's just a song she had written at the
That's kind of, yeah, it doesn't, like, why?
It's like, close enough.
I won't waste my life being typical. I'm gonna be original, even when it's difficult, and I won't change myself when they tell me no. Is Dolittle, I mean, it's not about being original, the movie,
no,
right?
Yeah, because it's like sticking up what you stand for,
This song is like is about accepting yourself, right? Isn't that the point of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not really the message of Dolittle at all. It's not about being yourself. Are we? Here's my question, I guess.
Really,
is the original cut of the movie what this song was written for? Can we make that assumption?
Oh,
that's where the change in the script is to do a little redo on what the meaning of the overall meaning of the movie is.
I think that's good, but I don't think that's the case. I think this song was written without
for
her.
This cut.
No, without her watching the movie at all.
Well, they had to have given her something, like Universal. If they're telling you you're writing a song for this movie.
Yeah, that's true. It could be like they were like, hey, it's about being yourself. And
if anything, it's about characters changing, right?
It is.
Like Dolittle stops living in his little hermit house.
He embraces the outside world.
Yeah, it's about like changing who you are.
Chi-Chi becomes
but they're
confident?
not. They haven't shut themselves away because they're different and they're not accepted. You know what I mean? Like that's sort of what the song implies.
Yeah, that's fair.
That you need to stand up and be yourself in the face of people who won't accept your originality, right? And that's not what this movie is about. Overcoming impacted colons. It's about overcoming your impacted colon and
No, it's about accepting help for your impacted colon.
Right, it's about accepting help
sometimes
for your
you need
impacted
help.
colon.
Yeah, you can't always just overcome your impacted colon by shoving more stuff into it.
By eating more Spanish Arby.
All right, the other entrance is what I'm trying to say. Through your mouth, not yeah. You can solve it.
I never thought that was I liked that brainwave. Just that was fun.
What about shoving things in?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because thinking about like other hit songs that are written for talking animal movies, like didn't Shakira with what was that movie?
Snow Dogs?
No, the animal movie.
Sing?
Like, no, it's like Sing. It came out around the same. Zootopia.
Yeah, but Zootopia is a better movie.
It's a real movie.
Yeah.
Okay, point noted. But the studio is still operating as a studio, right? Like,
Sia is a big name, but she's not. I don't think she's that big of a name where it was like. I think it's a budget conscious big name.
Yeah, it's someone that Universal already had.
Yeah,
I assume it's Universal Music, right?
Yeah, because they got Selena Gomez.
Oh, yeah.
They got Selena Gomez, right? Why wouldn't they have her write a song? And that's probably going to attract more. Like, I think it was a money-conscious decision as well.
I mean, do people go to movies to listen to a song by a single artist in the credits?
I mean, that's why a lot of people went to Cats.
Cats is a musical, though.
Okay, right, I'm saying a lot of people went to see it just for Taylor Swift. And that, like, they knew she wrote a song for it. So I do think it is a draw, but you're right, it's a musical, so it's a little different.
This, looking through the lyrics of Try Everything by Shakira, it does relate sort of to the story of Zootopia.
They just swapped them on accident.
Yeah. I think that the song is not made for this movie.
No, it's just something that Universal had in their archive of unused songs and said, we can throw this in there.
That seems more likely.
It's a name someone might know.
Is there a music video for it? Because I think that's another thing to look at. But I don't really...
no.
I don't really know who Sia is. She's Chandeliers, right? Is she not the person with two hair colors?
She is the person with two hair colors.
Yeah, that's Chandeliers.
Yeah, Sia is Chandelier. You're right.
But I don't think she's like I think she's like the biggest name they could afford, and like probably on contract already. And this was just a song they had. Because like I think that's like, if you get Selena Gomez, why not also have her sing or write a song?
Especially when it's just some pop song that the lyrics don't matter. It doesn't connect to your movie at all. It's literally just to play in the credits.
Or even have like Danny Elfman work on a...
I mean, I guess, is it like a trendy thing to do to have a pop song connected to your movie?
But I think so,
but otherwise there's nothing in this, like, it's more of a period piece in a lot of ways.
Right? It is, but isn't.
It's a period piece of time traveling animals.
Well, yes, of course. Future theory. TJ, did you have any thoughts on future theory?
Please explain.
So many of the animals, whenever they're speaking, the way that they're structured, like, for example, Yoshi the polar bear is from modern times. He talks with like a frat bro dialect. Tutu the fox and Kevin the squirrel are from World War II era, because the fox is making references to the French resistance, and Kevin, when his anesthesia flashback goes through, it's all atomic bombs and World War II stuff. So these animals are coming from different, and like Chi-Chi is from like America at some point when building codes are in, because he makes references to things being up to code.
Yeah, no, he is from I think it's like an island, Skull Island.
Oh, Skull Island, right?
And, yeah, he's spent a lot of time in New York City at that point. And that's why he's American.
Right. A big dinosaur for a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, so these animals are coming through from the future, because why are they speaking like people from the future instead of from the 1850s? It's the basic premise.
And everyone else, for the most part, is like what you would imagine a character. Like, it's not a good period piece, but it's like they're all trying.
Okay, I guess I wasn't paying attention for that during the movie.
It's just like a modern period piece, like one that doesn't actually care. A lot of period pieces now do that. Like, I guess not now. I'm thinking like Marie Antoinette. is like the big example. No,
I've never seen it. I don't know. Do they just talk with American accents?
No, but their dialogue isn't as like period as a lot of things were, and there's also like modern music. But
A Knight's Tale, is that?
A Knight's Tale is a good example. Yeah, I do like anytime we bring up a movie, it's a movie from like 20 years ago. I think we're out of touch.
Hey, our references are pretty good. If you go onto our Letterboxd, you can see our episode by episode breakdown of every movie that we've mentioned, because we love mentioning movies.
Do you want me to just read off my movie log from 2020?
Yes. Yeah, this is the perfect time to do that.
You can just list every Disney movie.
Sweet.
Do you have anything to share, TJ, that is not Dolittle related?
Oh, that's hard. I mean, Dolittle takes up so much of my life now.
It does, yeah. Now that you've watched it and been on the podcast, did you?
We went and watched, and inclusive of you two, but we went and watched 80 for Brady.
Oh, wow.
It was a good 9 p.m. showing by ourselves. So we got to hoot and holler throughout the movie. It was a lot of fun there.
That sounds incredible.
If there was one more person in that theater, it would have been a nightmare. But since we were allowed to be ourselves, it was a lot of fun.
You cannot let yourself be wrangled by it.
80 for Brady is a movie, I imagine, that requires hooting and hollering.
Yeah.
For it to be.
Was it really boring?
Yeah. I mean, they had Guy Fieri in there, and they used him to the best of their abilities.
That is something you should have been.
Excuse me.
If I knew he was acting, he should be a Dolittle.
He was not acting. He was himself.
Oh, he was playing himself? Okay.
But they used him
future
above
theory,
and
he
beyond.
could have been. He could have been in Dolittle.
No, yeah, I don't want this spoiled.
I don't know if
It's maybe the only good part of that
I don't
movie.
know that I'm ever going to watch 80 for Brady, but if I do check it out, I'll be looking forward to Guy Fieri.
I mean, it's almost as non-movie as
What are you
this.
doing in an hour, Frank? What else have you up to? Just
What else? I mean, work. We watched Lyle Crocodile later that night. It was somehow worse than 80 for Brady.
Where would you put it up against Dolittle?
I would
The three
prefer
of
to
them.
watch Dolittle. I would probably, if I'm allowed to sit in a theater alone for all three,
Yes.
80 for Brady, Dolittle, Lyle Crocodile, I think would be top to bottom, best worst.
okay. That sounds. I'm guessing that sounds right. Having
I
not
really
seen
liked
the other.
Lyle Crocodile, but
Liked it.
and more than 80 for Brady.
Yeah.
He and Nico despised 80 for Brady. I was the only one having fun, I think.
What punishment. Finn, do you have any non-Dolittle related things you'd like to share?
I've been playing Metroid Prime Remastered. It's probably the best remastered game I've ever played. Mostly because I really, really like Metroid Prime. So it's like
Nostalgia and also just a good game.
Yeah, it's the only. I know that people were complaining about save points, but I think the save points are really good actually. But the only thing that's kind of bad is the boss fights. There's a lot of them. Not all of them are fun. But that's pretty much it as far as flaws. Because it is aged like really well for a 22-year-old game.
GameCube was 2000, so somewhere in that area.
It might have been 2003. So yeah, 20-ish years. I feel like I've watched movies as well, but I don't remember them.
I've been watching movies as well. I had a moment where I was looking at I'm a spreadsheet merchant. I've said before. I love looking at my spreadsheets of things that I've done and looking through the movies and counting up the number of times I've watched Dolittle this year compared to movies that are not Dolittle, and going, I don't want Dolittle to be the number of times I've viewed Dolittle to be more than the other movies I've watched this year. Like, it's important to me that I watch movies that are not Dolittle more than I watch Dolittle. So I'm going to give a little shout out here, not to any movie in specific, just to a movie platform, Mubi, MUBI. It's great. It has a bunch of fun festival films and art house films and international films that you might not find other places. And there were some neat ones that I found there. I'll give a little tip of the hat to Mubi and another hat tip to the Criterion Channel.
Wait, what's your favorite movie you watched then?
So if I'm giving a shout out to one in particular, I think I'm going to say the Takashi Miike movie from 2019, First Love.
Oh, that one's really First Love rules.
It's sort of a Rom Black com, you could say.
Mike.
Yeah, Mike. Takashi Miike. Mike.
No more Mike.
Mike.
Yeah, that movie's so good.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's a little exploitation, but it's
I wouldn't say it's exploitation.
I think it is.
But it's like it's making fun of that.
Yeah, it's definitely a Rom Black com.
Yeah.
It's still like
That it's also a really good entry into his movies. I think that's one of the most accessible movies he made.
Anyway, that's it for me. TJ, did you enjoy it? Would you recommend it?
No. And no.
You're not coming back on the show.
I did pay attention for the whole movie, which is more than Finn can say. So.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
true.
fair.
I
That
did
is
fall
good
asleep.
point.
Hey, I think I was out for like 5 minutes.
Well, you don't get to log it in the movie log.
You're right.
You're gonna have to go back and rewatch those 5 minutes.
I will.
Yeah, good. Finn, did you enjoy it? Do you recommend it? You fell asleep, so
You know what would have kept me awake though?
a big bag of bugles,
A
probably.
big bag of bugles.
And maybe if you drink some Code Red before.
Yes, some Code Red poured directly on my eyeballs, and a bag of bugles.
Yeah.
Maybe some salt water.
Well, I'm not gonna recommend it, and I didn't enjoy it. So this was a tough week for Viewlittle.
I didn't enjoy it either. Don't really recommend it this week.
You know, we've made it now. February is finished. January is finished. We're 2 months. 2 months are done. 2 months are in our rear view mirror.
And then in April, I decide whether or not I want to continue my streak of watching it every day for a month.
Well, thankfully, you've got March to get to before you have to make that decision. But yeah, 2 months are behind us, and 8 more to go.
I feel like something that should be brought up before we close is I have been looking
more to go?
forward.
10 more to go. Oh God!
I have been looking forward to like recording this every week. It is sort of a nice like break.
It's just too bad that we
have to watch Dolittle to do it. That is the big flaw.
Only you had picked something fun.
See, I don't know. I was thinking about that.
I think picking a bad movie is better.
I think picking a bad movie is better too. At some point, any movie you pick, like...
Yeah, but a different bad movie every week.
The thing is this can't ruin Dolittle for you.
No, that's a good point. It can't. In fact, I think it can only make it better.
Like, if you pick a good movie, a movie you enjoy, I think that it would ruin the movie
This is sort of...
But you know true. I haven't watched Emperor's New Groove since that. Watching it like, what?
9 times.
9 times in a row.
Yeah.
Child's numbers.
Hey, he beat you that year.
He did beat me. That's true.
Only year that was tracked.
The whole premise is sort of like a desert island movie type thing. You're stranded on a desert island. You only get to watch one movie. Dolittle is that movie.
I think it's a good pick. I think you want to pick something that's bad that you can make fun of, like you won't get attached to.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Having your only entertainment being a bad movie for the rest of your life.
See, yeah, we're able to break this up by
doing other things.
By watching other things, doing other things.
That is true.
We're not just only watching Dolittle.
You know what? I might make the pledge that I won't watch a single movie this year.
No more video games, too.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I don't think you're making that pledge.
Oh, gosh. What else can I just run a lot, I suppose.
Run while watching Dolittle.
I have the... But yeah, I feel like you're right. Anyway, my name's Finn.
And this is Frank. We're joined by TJ.
Hi.
And we're out of here. Bye-bye.
Start the ASMR now.
This has been Viewlittle, if you listen to the right side.
Where's the head microphone thing where you can rub the ears?
Now we're going to use a razor to clean you up a little bit, Dr. Dolittle.
It might be electric, right?
You're right.
You should be shaving off the...
Alright, Kinko, this is only going to hurt a little bit.
It's a terrible movie. Do not watch.